Word 5, tabs and margins. Tabs and margins are the correct way to move text across a page and aligning things up. Never use spaces to align things up. Spaces are for between words. Now to do this, there's two tools you need to take advantage of. One is the ruler. If you don't see your ruler, go up to View, Ruler. It's a good idea to leave this on. It doesn't take up much room, gives you a lot of information. The other thing that will really help here is the invisibles, showing all non-printing characters. If you click on this symbol, you'll see all those little symbols that the computer uses that are very important that it doesn't show you. It will never print these, but they're an important part of the computer keeping track. So this P right here, the paragraph sign, that comes when you hit a return. That's why when you hit return, you're really asking for a new paragraph. That's what the computer's thinking. This little elevated dot right here, it's not a period, it's smaller than that, and it's raised up off the bottom of the line. That means there's a space. This is how you could know if there's multiple spaces between words, like two spaces, which would be wrong. I can delete one of those and it's fixed. This arrow means a tab. It's pushed over to a certain point that's determined on your ruler. If I click on this line, I see the tabs for this line. This is a left tab. You can tell by the shape it should line up on the left and everything goes the other way. If you hold the cursor still, it tells you what kind of tab it is. This is a center tab. And then this one is a right tab. Everything lines up on the right. This is a decimal tab. So things line up on the decimal point. I'm going to move the tabs around and line up these three rows of text. Now they all have their tabs in different places. So we need to do one line at a time. I'm going to click on the first line and drag the tab over to 1/2. Click on the second line, you can put that tab on 1/2. Click on it, drag it over. When you click on it, it gives you a line to line things up. That's very handy. Okay. Now I can tell all three of those are lined up on the left side. If I'm not sure, click on it and you can see the line. Centered's a little harder to see, but that's why you use tabs. Let's center these all on 2. Click on the second line, move the tab over, center it on 2, and the third line. Center. If you get that, just cancel it. Nothing you need to worry about. Center it on 2. Likewise with the right, let's put that at 3.5. Click on the right tab, drag it over. Click on this right tab, drag it over, and the third line, drag it over. Now if while you're doing this you get an extra tab, like if you just clicked up here by accident, you'd get a left tab. We don't want that. The way to get rid of that is you click on it and drag it off the ruler. It might take a second, but you only should have 4 tabs up here on each line. Okay. Then the last one, the decimal tab. You really can't compare numbers if you don't line up the decimal. Visually, this looks like a larger number, but it's not. Let's fix that. Let's move all 3 decimal tabs over to 4.5. Remember, this is different on each line. So you have to click on each line and correct each one at a time. Okay, now you can see clearly this is a much smaller number than this because the decimal tab tells you that. If we continue this and hit return now, we'd have aligned tabs everywhere. Also margins. When you indent, you can indent a tab with margins or with the tab key. This is the left margin up here. This is the right margin, this little handle. It'll change the whole right side of the page. You should use these for the whole page. Don't change individual paragraphs with this. Let's leave this for default right now, and this is a default. That's fine. The left margin has 3 different components. There's the left indent, the left margin, and then there's this one on top is just for the first line. So if I want to move that in, oops, grab the wrong one. Grab the top one and in like that, it'll move just the first line. Sometimes when you hit tab to indent, it does the same thing for you. Either's fine. You can indent with tab or you can indent with this, with moving the first indent line. Sometimes the computer will do that for you automatically. Either one's fine. Down here is where somebody tried to line things up and really made a mess of it. And I want you to fix this using the margins. So on this one, I'm going to move both of these by grabbing the very bottom. I'm going to line them up on one. And this one, the first line indent is offset, so I'm going to drag it over to be with the left indent marker, and then grab the handle on the very bottom to line them both up right on one. Likewise down here, you can do it in the opposite order. I'll line that up on one, and the first line up with that, and this last one, they're already together, so I'm going to click this bottom and drag them both over there. Okay, I want you to open up Word 5 Doc and do this yourself. You can refer back to the video. Complete this, straighten everything up, put your name on it, and we're handing it in as a project for today.